Pokemon. Pokemon has been a lifelong special interest of mine ever since I was introduced to it in 2nd or 3rd grade. It all started with this exact cartridge of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. It wasn't until I was about 10 years old that I started collecting the cards, and that was around the 3rd generation of Pokemon. In fact, the first mainline Pokemon game that I played was Pokemon Ruby. Currently, I keep my cards in binders, but when I was little, I used to keep them in a Rayquaza tin. I still have that tin, and I use it to store trainers, energies, and code cards, which I'm never going to use, but maybe I'll bulk sell them one day. I used to carry my favorite cards in a little pouch, which I think was Lisa Frank themed. But one day, I left that pouch at my cousin's house, and my little cousin, bless her heart, she was maybe 2 years old, she got into it and she ripped up all of the cards in it. I really don't hold it against her, but man, was I really upset about it. I remember some really cool cards that I had in that pouch, including some Team Aqua cards, some Delta species cards, and specifically I remember this Bulbasaur and Ivysaur from Crystal Guardians because I thought the artwork was really pretty and they were also hollow and had the little set stamp on the artwork. So I hope to get my hands on them someday again and re-add them to my collection. I do still have a whole bunch of cards from when I was young, but I'm okay with them being a little beat up. I don't really plan on selling any of the unique cards in my collection, and a lot of them have sentimental value. Here are some of the old and pretty valuable or cool cards that I still have from when I was younger. I really only got some of the cards in the 3rd gen and 4th gen, and then I stopped getting cards for a while because I moved back in with my mom, and I grew up poor. I didn't have any disposable income, so I treasured the ones that I had, but I couldn't add any more to my collection until 2019. I had just graduated college, so I had time on my hands and money that I didn't have to spend on my senior projects, which I was super busy with at the time. It was the first time I got to add to my collection since elementary school. I could invest in my hobbies again. So I did. And my girlfriend had just moved in with me. So I got her into it too. We would open cards together and then trade each other so that we could fill out our own binders. In fact, I still remember this one date that we went on where I opened 2 amazing hits. And they were these 2 cards right here. These are some of the most valuable cards in my collection, and I pulled them on the same day. I still can't believe that that happened to me. The next year, you know what hit. And me and my girlfriend also moved into our own apartment together for the first time. So our finances became really tight and we had to stop enjoying our hobbies. And then the recent scalper situation made it even worse. It became hard to even find Pokemon cards if we had the money to spend on them for Christmas. But that is changing. One of our mutual friends came to visit us the first week of April, and he brought with him his giant plastic tub full to the brim of his bulk Pokemon cards. It wasn't even his proper collection. It was duplicates, and they were all sorted by set, which is wild to me because I just sort my collection by the national dex. He's a mad lad for bringing it, by the way. That box was heavy. I had to help him carry it up the stairs. The reason he brought them to trade is because he had gotten me back into cataloging my Pokemon cards using TCG Collector, which I became pretty obsessed with pretty quickly. It's an awesome site that catalogs every Pokemon card in existence, down to the set, variant, and even the language. It even has a wishlist feature, which I have filled to the brim. So I went through all of my own cards and cataloged them all on this site, and it helped me visualize what I was missing and what I would like to have. So he knew that both me and my girlfriend were interested in continuing our card collecting hobby, and that's why he brought his entire bulk. Some of the more valuable cards that he had, we traded for properly so that it was a fair exchange. But all of the cheap cards, he just let us have our pick, which was really awesome. And we didn't even get to look through all of his bulk. I only got to look through 2 or 3 box sets of them. Luckily, this is our friend who we plan on moving in with in a few months. So he's gonna be bringing his bulk back. And once we move in with him, we're all gonna have a lot more room in our finances because we're gonna be supporting each other. So I'm gonna be able to buy cards again, which I'm really excited about. Here's some of the awesome stuff that I got from his collection. I got a bunch of promos and holos for free, and some old original base set cards in amazing condition. I absolutely love the vintage style cards, so I chomped at the bit to get some of those in my collection. I even got a ton of modern cards that I needed to fill out my Pokédex, which I'm super happy about, since that's personally my goal in collecting. Adding a whole bunch of cards to my collection was fun, but I needed to go through, sort, and catalog all of them, and then add them into my binders. And that took hours over multiple days. But it was worth it to watch my binders fill up. I keep my collection in 2 binders and in National Pokédex order. This one holds generations 1 through 4, and this one holds generations 5 through 9. Ideally, I'd like to have a binder for each generation so that I have room in the pages to show off all of the different cards I have of each Pokemon. There's a ton of Pokemon that I still don't have, and my main goal is to fill up the National Dex someday. So once I have more money to put toward my hobbies, I hope to complete that goal, at the very least. And I have a ton of other cards that I really want to get my hands on. Like I mentioned earlier, TCG Collector has a wishlist feature. I want a whole bunch of cards of my favorite Pokemon, like Ampharos, Lugia, Dragonite, Arcanine. Also a bunch of vintage cards and cards that have unique or silly artwork. I know that a lot of them are not realistically obtainable, and I'm not keeping a wish list as a to-do list. It's there just to show the cards that I really love and would love to have. Maybe I'll be gifted them, maybe I'll find them in shops when I have extra money to spend. So once I'm actively back in the card collecting scene, I'll have a list of cards to reference when I'm looking to get something nice for myself. I'm really excited to get back into the collecting scene, and I wanted to show a little bit of my journey with card collecting. So I'll leave you off with showing where my collection is at right now. I'm really happy at where my collection is at for somebody who has collected casually and has had years-long gaps where I haven't gotten any cards. Thank you so much to my supporters on Patreon and Ko-fi, and a special thank you to my Sunflower and Rainbow tier members: Atolvik, Southbridge, Virus, Hatto Cafe, Crash Bandicoot, Witchbolt, the Carrion King, and Muse Meow. And if you're interested in supporting me as an artist and a creator, you can visit my Patreon and Ko-fi to support me monthly and get cool rewards, a bunch of exclusive art. If you enjoyed, I would really appreciate if you let me know, even just a simple like. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Oh my god, we're gonna have to talk. I have to talk with you. Am I having a stroke?
Yeah, hold on, I'm stroking out.
I'm stroking out? Like I'm going ghost. This freaking dog. Billy, you gotta stop.